And I loved your grandmother. Huh? Talitha was in the same grade as me, and she copied off my paper, and they passed her in. But we were in the same class. Yeah, Miss Becky, I encourage a pure girl of paper. I'd get up every morning on the weekdays at 3 o'clock in the morning to take this paper. Sometimes I'd get in 6 or 6:30. And her class was the firstborn, and I'd fall asleep. She never fussed at me. She'd give me my assignment. I thought the world of her. She was this sweet girl. She understood what I was doing.
She understood your potential.
Yeah.
That guy looks familiar.
That's Joe. That's Joe Denny.
Oh, well, that's it.
One of you. Who's your dad?
It's a long story. My father, he was a Swede, but I didn't know him until I was 21. I'm Merlin Bailey's your family.
Who?
The Baileys?
I know the Baileys, but I'm trying to figure out which one you were.
No, my dad was a white guy.
Okay. Well, that ain't nothing unusual, brother.
I didn't know him, dude.
Come on, tell him.
I was 21
I have to talk loud. So, I'm Jeff Meisel, City Manager. I'd like to welcome all of you all out this afternoon for this special gathering here at City Hall. I'd like to thank you for coming out and taking time to help us celebrate the career of Mr. Joe Denny right here. Servant of the city of Bowling Green. Personally, I've known Joe probably since around 2005 or so, and worked with him for many years. He's always been a great friend of mine, great colleague. He's always been very supportive of me and city staff, and we appreciate that so much. He's an important piece of the fabric of our city government, and has been for a long, long time. Over 27 years to be exact. And yes, that is a record and a distinction. That will ever be broken. Think for a minute how many Tuesday afternoons and Tuesday evenings he spent in this building right here. 27 years.
I thought about it.
All the professional wrestling you missed, Joe, on TV, being here stuck in meetings. All the times you were out in the public events, on the phone, trying to help someone. So many hours spent. With that said, we thought it was only fitting that we honor you today, Joe, in a way that future generations will always know your contributions to the city of Bowling Green. So today, we are announcing a new name for this main floor lobby in City Hall. From this day on, City Commons. Besides holding the longest tenure of any city official, city commissioner, mayor, Joe's always been a trailblazer. Joe was the first city's black police officer. He was also the first black city commissioner, and he was also the first black mayor. What a legacy. Dedicated most of his adult life to serving the citizens of Bowling Green. We are so grateful for that service. We want everyone that walks in this building to know who Joe Denny is and what contributions is made. So thank you, Joe, for your many years of service. So Joe, can you tell by this crowd that you've got a few friends and how much you're loved? I hope you can see that today. So I'm going to hand off to the mayor. Mayor has another special presentation to make, and hand it to Mayor Alcott.
Great job, Jeff. There's a few other things that we want to note about Joe. He is that trailblazer. But think about what he's done for our community, how he's advocated for our community, how he's changed our community. You know, Joe's told me a story about where we go to the rail park today, and he remembers that when that was the train station. And there was a day when a black man, a black person, could not walk into every room of that train station. And our city's come a long way since 1798, when we have the first pro tem. A pro tem is an elected city official that has the most votes of all the city elected officials. So he was also a pro tem, and I know Sue's here, Dana's here, Carlos is here, and Melinda is here. And Sue actually hard charged this idea. She says we need to honor Joe while he is living, breathing. But if you think that Joe, the history that you know, that you've lived, that you've seen. We talked about the first. There's another first that he had. He was the first African American elected to a city board for our school. That was another first. Another first is that he worked with my grandfather in Todd County, and that was Frederick Alcott, and he was with the Soil Conservation Service. Came into federal service. The second state police officer in the entire state of Kentucky. These are just some of the legacies that Joe has trailblazed, but he has done that with a family. And I know his two daughters are here. Three. Come on out. The family, I'd like you to come out front and center. Please.
Amen.
And there's more family here. Let's bring out the rest of our family. And Joe, I don't want to steal all the thunders. Our commissioners, this is a big deal for all of us. We all would like to say a few words on your behalf. So I'll turn it over to Sue.
Thank you, Todd. I may have dropped an idea, but then I got out of the way. And so I do want to say a special thank you to Ashley. Where's Ashley? Yeah. Okay, Ashley. As Ashley, as with anything that's worthwhile, she had helpers, and so you want to say thank you to Hope and Debbie,
all the staff, all the city manager's department, Debbie and Hope and Laura, everyone played a part. So we're here to honor you today, Joe.
Really appreciate everybody's efforts. I'm seeing a whole lot of hands up there today. It's going to be a beautiful reception upstairs in City Hall chambers. I know Mayor Webb's chomping at the bit to get up there, but this is an extremely special day. And I called Joe to say, hey, we got permission to do something in honor of him. He had no idea what it was we were doing, but he did choke up a little bit then, as he is now, because he's a very special cornerstone. And without Joe Denny in this community, we wouldn't be the same. You have impacted this community like none of us. Come on down, guys. Come on. It's and I can't tell you how much fun it was serving on the city commission with Joe Denny. He's a wild card. You don't know. You just don't know. You think you got him nailed. field and then it comes out of left field. But I do want to say thanks to all of his family, especially Keita for getting him here, because he was trying to backpedal just a little. And we're going to tell on you there. But you are a trailblazer, Joe, and I'm looking across this room and I'm seeing we have got our first black police chief. We have other officers of color all over here. And I don't think the complexion of our policing agency would look anything like what it does today had it not been for you. And you making sure that you were relevant, you did a good job, worked with the state troopers, and this is a life of service right here, y'all. And I'm getting myself a little bit choked up too. But I can't thank you enough, and I love you. I do. I love you like a brother. I'm done. I think I've said all I can say.
Well, when I was very first appointed commissioner years ago, I had the pleasure of sitting next to Joe Diddy. Now, you know, you're supposed to be serious and all business when you're there, but it's kind of hard when you're sitting next to Joe. And I'll always remember one time during a meeting, he lost his chewing gum. And he hit me and goes, I can't find my chewing gum. Then we looked and looked, and he was almost sitting on it. So I couldn't reach for it because, you know, but I did let him know where it was so he didn't sit in it. But he was always there to advise all the new commissioners. He's always been wonderful. And I will let you in on a little note. If you see him at Fish Street Diner, don't think, well, you would be helping him out, but make sure you have a high limit on your debit card. Joe was eating at the counter one day, and I thought, well, I'll pick up his breakfast. I did not know he was eating breakfast. He was eating lunch. So, but you've been wonderful, and I want to steal a moment from you for a moment, because we have someone's very special birthday today. Alice, where is she? Where's that? Oh, there she is. She's not. Happy birthday. Today's a big birthday for our daughter. We say happy birthday. So it's her birthday on your special birthday. I was like, just for this reason. But Joe, from the bottom of my heart, thank you for everything you've done for this city, the community, and the state. You're wonderful. You're one of a kind.
So I just say one last thing because it's making me think about you. Because every time we would have some sort of a, you know, catastrophe, skies falling, boat and whatnot, and Joe would always go, "It'd be all right." And Joe, it'll be all right.
It too should have
It'd be all right.
Yes, I'm going to try not to get emotional talking about Joe. He is family, and I actually knew his daughters before I knew Commissioner Denning. So I'm the Family Resource Coordinator at Bollinger Junior High, and the first Youth Service Center Coordinator, because you were at the old one, right? So it started in the early 90s, and so Keita, his daughter, was the very first Youth Service Center Coordinator, and then my boss was her assistant coordinator. And then when my boss retired, then I became the coordinator, and Keita stayed on our advisory council to continue to be a resource for us, a mentor for us. And then just his whole family, their service to the community, they are such a huge part of your legacy and your values of serving the community, working on getting kids glasses and all kinds of things that you are continuing to work through your generations. And ever since we first became a commissioner, Commissioner Denning, he was always such a good mentor to me. Giving me amazing advice that you can only get when you've been in those shoes. And you would think that after he retired from the commission that he would take it easy, but no, he is always reaching out, talking about some street corner that's got something going on with it, or some sort of safety issue. And his whole life, his experience, he would always bring to the table as a commissioner, thinking through how can we make our city safer for all of us. Are y'all going to tell the story of his lobby? About his making the safety improvements part of this? You want to tell that story?
No, it's fun.
You should tell that story.
No, it's okay.
So what's so special about this lobby being named after him is the security improvements that he made, always thinking about our staff. He's always thinking about the folks that are behind the scenes. How can we make sure that we are taking care of everybody? And so he makes sure that all the security here for our staff, instead of being exposed out in the open, anyone could walk in, he made sure that our staff could serve our city safely. Yes, sir. I got to correct the story. Go ahead, correct me.
No, you told the truth.
Okay.
But I need to add to it.
Yes, you do.
The $75,000 that it costs to do this, I call hell.
When he knew something needed to happen, when he knows something that needs to happen for our community, he's gonna do whatever it takes to get it for our community. He's an incredible athlete.
Let me just add, what was happening was that people could come through the daggone front door, go to any offices on either side, downstairs and everywhere. Now, they still can come through here and go out the back way, but they cannot get into the offices crossways to get to any of our employees. And the Daily News raised hell why I would ask the commission to spend $75,000 in order to do that.
And what year was this, Joe?
I don't know what year it
Anybody
was.
know what year it was? It's been a while.
It wasn't no years when everybody going there and shooting everybody.
But, Joe, we love you. He is family to my kids, Evangeline, Stockton. He's their Uncle Joe, and he's promised to give them jobs hunting alligators.
Snakes.
And snakes. Well, they're all excited to turn 18 and work for Uncle Joe.
We appreciate it.
Joe, mine is going to be like roll some things with. I know that I am following in your footsteps. And I always tell my daughters that sometimes, like, make sure that your footsteps are so deep that you create a path for someone else. So not only that they can walk to where it is, where they went, but so they can run and move forward. Commissioner Denny, you're a pioneer in the spirit of unwavering dedication. You broke barriers as the first African-American police officer, a member of this Bowling Green City Commission, and other things that has been stated today. Your legacy, your leadership and commitment to this community paved the way for individuals like myself, and for people who are going to come even after us. Because I believe that we have to leave a legacy for generations to come to make sure that we leave a better world than what we found it. One thing that I just heard the mayor talk about, when you were alive, and I know you knew my family, you were the first, and my uncle, ironically enough, was tied for second as on the Bowling Green Police Department. And I'm second African-American city commissioner. Our families known each other for many years. I go to church with Kia and her mom. And it's always been a blessing. If I know that the first thing you told me is if you need anything, give me a call. When I lost in 2018, you probably don't even remember this. You came, I was up there looking at the bullets. You put your hand on my shoulder. You said, look here, man, it's not over. It's like you either come back and run again, or you go and run for like the city commission, not the school board. But it says, don't let this get you down. You come back at some point. You probably didn't know I was going to come back the next time.
I remember that.
As the second African-American city commissioner, I'm deeply honored to follow in your footsteps, striving to continue a vision to make sure that Bowling Green not only works with just African-Americans and other minorities, but but make sure that it works for all people who are here. And make sure that the justice and stuff is gonna move forward forward. Ironically enough, we're close to the date for the March on Washington. And that march was talking about freedom and justice. It was back in 1963, more than 60 years ago. Those people of your generation that make sure that my generation and the generation to come is gonna have a better legacy than what you guys have fought for in the past. So I appreciate you, and I just want to just tell you thank you, because I know that I follow in your footsteps.
Ladies and gentlemen, we have one more thing to reveal to our community as we make history today. It's exactly what's on there. There's your Corvette, the key to the city. One America to another. Thank you. But Joe, this is for you.
Joe, make sure everything was good, and then he called back in like 10 minutes. I thought, well, what in the world? Is he changing his mind now? He said, what color is it? I said, Hillary's a witness. I said, what do you mean, what color is what? He said, my Corvette. I will not have red. So this is in place of your Corvette, okay? Your beautiful face is going to be here from now until it still goes away. The Denning Commons, established 2023, dedicated in honor of Joe W. Denning, who served as an elected official for the city of Bowling Green for over 27 years, from 1992 to 2020. He was the first black Bowling Green police officer, commissioner, and mayor. Known for his years of public service, Mr. Denning has proven to be a trailblazer in the community. The Denning Commons commemorates the selfless commitment and passion Mr. Denning exhibited. May all who gather here exemplify the same ability to be a positive leader, servant, and friend. Joe, we're like a big brother, buddy. Glad this day came. Sorry, Bruce is in here. So where are we now?
Hey, ladies and gentlemen, we're going to go upstairs.
No, we're going to get maybe a word from Joe. Chief Delaney. Oh, Chief Delaney. That's right, sorry. And then
I'm
not going to serve it after this is over. What an honor and privilege it is just to be here today in your presence. On behalf of the police department, we wanted to give you a token of our appreciation. And I read a quote once before I opened it up that said, if you follow the crowd or the herd, somebody might mistake you for a cow. And I thought, a cow? But then after I thought about that, and I thought, what does that stand for? And the C, to me, stands for courageous. To stand 1969, June 4th, and raise your right hand and say, I swear that I want to be a Bowling Green police officer. And have the heart and minds of everybody in this community behind you when you were the first black police officer. The O, outgoing. You can't go into a restaurant any place in town where Commissioner Denning's not there and people know he's not in the room. And just your personality fills up the room. It always has every time I've been around you. And well respected, look around this room. People stopped what they were doing today to come honor you, Mr. Day. So thank you on behalf of Bowling Police Department for doing everything you've done for the years, for opening doors that would have been closed to me, people like me, and being a trailblazer. The last story is 1998. You probably don't remember this. I was a young rookie officer, and in junior food store on Gordon, I was standing in line and somebody tapped me on the shoulder. It's the first time I met Mr. Denny. And he introduced himself. He said, "I'm city commissioner. How are you?" And I said, "I'm doing good." And when he said city commissioner, I got a little nervous. He said, "If you ever need anything, you just let me know." And you've been true to your word. So thank you. This is just a little token of our appreciation. Wow. Certificate of appreciation with our old patch, our new patch, and a Chiefs point.
Thank you, brother.
Thank
Can you see me?
Not that well. There. Come to think of it, you were kind of down. Do you want this card?
Thank you.
Why don't we get his 3 daughters and family surrounded, and then Joe, can we move your seat?